In this section, we're going to be looking at numbers in Python. Python has got two kinds of numbers. We have the integers and then the floating point. Integers are whole numbers, and floating point numbers are numbers with a decimal point. This is going to be a hands-on, so we're going to look at basic maths using Python, and you can grab your Jupyter notebook or your Google Colab. I am gonna go to Anaconda and just launch a Jupyter notebook, which I'm going to be using. So I'll just go here and say new Python notebook, and then we'll start looking at numbers or how to work with Python in numbers. So we'll start by adding numbers where we'll just say maybe 5 plus 9. And if you just enter, it will give you your answer. So we'll do that again, 5 again. Or maybe if I wanted 6 plus 8, and still will give us our answer. So you can really do simple math, simple additions in Python. We can also do subtraction. So we have 58 minus 9, which will give us 49. And we'll try again something that is simpler, like 9 minus 8, which is definitely supposed to give us a 1. Yeah, and that's how we subtract. We could also do some division still in Python. And as you can see here, we're getting whole numbers back because we're giving it whole numbers. If we give it decimal points, we will still have our responses in decimal points. So let's do that. And we'll have a floating number. And that is a floating number that we got. So we'll move on. That is addition and subtraction. We'll move on to division. So, or multiplication. We'll just say 10 times 2. And that will give us a 20. That's our multiplication. Let's add some comments. And then we'll move on to our division. Division is a little bit different because with division we have two types of operators. We have one where you could divide maybe say 12 divided by 4, and we get our 3.0. We gave it whole numbers, but we got a float as an answer. So that divides the operator slash will divide the number on its left by the number on its right, and it will return a floating point value. And then we have also two slashes where if we do our division like that, and then we'll get a whole number. And this divides the number on the left by the number on the right and rounds down the answer to return a whole number. So if we had 12 divided by 5, we'll still get 2 because it will round off. But if we had 12 slash 5, then it will not round off. So you get the difference when we're dividing. If we use the two slashes, we're rounding off and we're getting a whole number. If we use one slash, then we are not rounding off, and our result was going to be a decimal point. So we also can do more math, like we could do work with exponential numbers, what most people call. Most people refer to this as power of. So we could have something like 2 to the power of 3, and we'll definitely get our 8 as the answer because that becomes 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then we have my favorite, the modulo, which is supposed to provide the remainder of. So if we have 10 modulo 3. The answer is definitely 1. So we'll have 1. So that is how we use Python to do small basic math. So we can do subtraction, addition, multiplication, exponentials, modular, any kind of math that you want to do, you can do it here in Python. And thank you. We'll learn more about variables in our next lecture.